Hey, welcome to the Ringer Gambling Show, Friday edition. I'm Sal, here every Friday with my picks partners, Anthony Dabbundo and Danny Heifetz. Heifetz, you are at a bachelor party right now?
Yeah, I wish I was there with you, Uncle Sal and Tony Buns over here. But yeah, I'm off the coast to Lake Michigan, baby. But we can't miss a show.
Really? Is that a rented house? This is a bachelor party, though, right?
This is actually one of the guys' family homes. It's Mima and Papa's house, and
Oh,
I'm
no.
trying. I'm just unplugging and moving tables, and I think that they're gonna kick me out by the end of the
Oh,
weekend.
this is going to be some bachelor party with me, mom, papa. Do you assign odds to the festivities, like the groom wakes up tomorrow with a ball gag in his mouth, anything like that?
Oh yeah, well, I mean that already happened, so like the betting's
Gotcha.
closed on that.
Okay. All
How
right.
many
Dabbundo.
guys?
Uh, 8 currently, and it's going to be like 13. So, and they're actually
Wow.
going to probably come in the middle of this recording, the way the weekend's
Oh,
going. So,
good. All
like,
right. We'll
just let
wait.
me. That's the odds that I screw up the show they might take it off the table.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Are
that's
you
always
in the
a
wedding?
possibility. Yeah.
Are you a
Oh yeah, it's my
groomsman?
oldest friend. Yeah, it's a groomsman. So yeah, but again, I think I'm plus 300 to remain in the wedding.
After this? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Dabbundo, I want to check in with you. Last time we left off with you, your car had zero wheels. I'm going to bet currently over 1.5 now.
We're back to four. However, we're still
Ooh.
only at three window windows in the doors.
Oh, I see.
We're one short.
All
That's
right.
why I
You
bet the
can't.
alt line
As
and the windows.
yeah, the sharps hit that market knowing that I would procrastinate the windshield repair because in this case they just brought the tires to me. I didn't actually have to do anything. And
I
then once
see.
the car's drivable, the weather's beautiful this week. It's not raining.
Yeah.
Who needs a passenger side window?
It,
At some point I will, but
right,
that'll
right,
be
right.
fixed later today.
Did you leave
It's a
something in your car?
No,
Oh,
nothing
that
was
it's
stolen from the
broken.
car.
never
They just
again. All
they just
right.
really wanted the wheels.
Well, it's a great day to drive around. It's also for the bad guys a great day to break into Dabundo's car again if you want. He's got 4 brand new tires. So there you go. That's something to
And you don't even have
consider.
to break the
Where's your
window
car
this time.
parked right now?
That's true.
Just give us the cross streets. Where's it parked?
I'm not at liberty to say. My insurance is listening.
He can't say. All right, listen. Now's the time where I remind you that the Ringer Gambling Show is presented by FanDuel, and football's officially back. So you're going to be in it. Be in it with FanDuel. They got the goods, futures, live betting, SGPs, your way bets, all of it. The app's clean, it's fast, and yeah, when you win, you get paid instantly. Wow, this week you could bet the Giants to upset Heifetz's Giants to upset the Cowboys. How do we not have a side bet here, Heifetz? We have to come up with something within the next hour. We got to do this. You're plus 198 to win that game, and you know you're going to, don't you?
Don't do the whole woe is me thing with
Wow.
Cowboys Giants.
All right.
All right, Sal, pop quiz for you.
Yeah.
Last 16 games between the Cowboys and Giants.
Yeah.
What do you think the Cowboys record is?
I know Dax beat him 13 in a row. That's a good stat for me. But what is it, 14 and 2 or something?
I'm guessing one win.
Yeah, the Cowboys are 15 and 1
15
in
and
the
1?
last
That's
16
good.
games versus the Giants. So
See,
I
that
need
would be a
better than
good
2 to 1
season.
odds.
All right. Well, that's all FanDuel's offering. That's not actually all they're offering. They got a lot there, a lot of distractions for you. Something bold, build it. Every game makes you feel bigger. Go to FanDuel.com/gamblers to get started. For our show here, we got our Ringer 107 Pro Picks for the weekend. We are going to go over the college slate. There's a big fight. Bud Crawford, Canelo Alvarez. We're going to do some handy clipping, and the great Mina Kimes is going to join us at the end of the program. But first, let's recap that Thursday night football game. 28-17. Packers win and cover. The game goes under. I believe it was like 48 and a half. The Packers, what did it end, Dabbundo, at like 3? It ended at 3, right? It closed at 3. Green
Yeah,
Bay?
a lot of late Washington money. Green Bay down some offensive linemen. Lost Jane
Yeah.
Reed in the first drive. Didn't matter. Domination of a win. I mean, at one point in the game, they had more than double the yards, and I didn't think Washington was even going to get to 200. They got there very late on the last drive, kind of the concession touchdown. But I mean, as comprehensive of a 2 performances as you're going to see, we thought after week 1, maybe Detroit's just a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just that Green Bay is, I don't know, the best team in the NFL all around. It's
Yeah.
possible.
They looked very fast, Heifetz. It looked like the youngest versus the oldest team, and that's exactly what we were staring at for 3 hours. I don't know what it is with Washington. I shorted them preseason. I'm like, they were very lucky. They're older. I don't like some of their free agent moves. They had 51 yards rushing, puts a lot of pressure on Daniels, who was also pressured a lot by some guy they traded for. I don't even remember his name, but yeah, Packers look good, right?
I mean, yeah, the Packers look unbelievable. I don't love that they keep adding up injuries. They're banged up for already more banged up, frankly, than most Super Bowl teams are banged up at this point of the year. But yeah, they look unbelievable. In Washington, I mean, again, it's that whole season with the oldest team in the league staying healthy and just not staying so creaky. I just overall, I think it was Washington won last year on magic, but also just an
Mm.
incredibly thin set of circumstances repeating themselves. And like, yeah, it's like a little harder when I they just aren't really able to dominate in the trenches. Like the offensive line for Washington's find it best. The defensive line, there's no pass rush. I think you see it in a game like last night, especially. I just they're putting it a lot on Jaden Daniels to kind of just have to do everything all the time, and it's like you can't always have a better rate on fourth down than Michael Jordan shot from the free throw line every single season.
Yeah,
But
no
they failed
kidding.
twice yesterday.
Yeah, and it's sorry you're not literally the best fourth down team of all time ever.
Again for the second
Again,
consecutive
yeah,
year.
exactly. It's just
Well,
maybe that wasn't a
how
great
many
plan,
times
but
have we seen them punt 3 times in a row last year? Not a lot, right?
I
And then
forgot how good Tress
now
Way
it's
was.
yeah,
He like
yeah.
pinned him inside the 10 3 times. And Green Bay
I
went
don't
96
know.
yards, 92 yards.
I think, yeah, and you were talking about this, Heifetz, the injuries with these receivers. I think they have like 7 receivers that range from anywhere from serviceable to potentially very good. And yeah, there are like 3 of them hurt at any time, but it doesn't seem to matter. Romeo Dobbs caught the first touchdown at plus 1,200. Kraft got him all the way down. Dabbundo, you and I were all over Kraft, and he just looks like you described him as a monster, which I thought was rude. But what did he have, 124 yards? I mean, that's not to be expected from any tight end, let alone Tucker Kraft. Right?
I mean, I don't bet a ton of props, but I will say, like having the feet up on the couch, watching one screen, I got the Phillies making their comeback against the Mets.
All
Other
right, that's
screen,
not
Tucker
what we're
Kraft
talking about right now. Yeah.
marauding down the field. It
Yeah.
was great. I mean, the over took a lot of money on Kraft, but Washington has not been able to cover tight ends for 2 years now, and their linebackers looked super old. Marshawn Lattimore,
Yeah, yeah.
not great. So yeah, Lattimore's washed. I mean, it's a scary time.
it's just an
Yeah.
old team. Bobby Wagner's like 36. Marshall Lattimore is a 30 who's played 14 games in 3 years. You know what I mean? It's just they're old at every spot now. But you guys were all over it. Tucker Kraft, I think, is frankly kind of like a Trey McBride-ish number one option on this team. I think he's probably Tucker Kraft might just lead the Packers in yards and catches now that Jaden Reed is.
We'll
broke his
get
collar.
to your full fantasy breakdown in a second, Heifetz. But is Tucker Kraft, let's just say it right now, is he top 3 tight ends right now fantasy?
Yeah, certainly top four. I mean, I think it's still Bowers, it's still Trey McBride, or like that top tier. But now that George Kittle's hurt, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's probably Tucker Kraft's right there. I mean, Tyler
Top 3
Warren, we'll see if
healthy?
he can do it again. Yeah, I think,
Gotcha.
yeah, definitely.
You got
I
to
mean, they
put
can't
Kraft
throw
over
deep
Warren. Yeah.
every
Yeah.
play. So sometimes they have
Right.
to throw less than 15 yards down the field, and there he is, open every
You know,
single play.
Dabbundo, I think we talked about it earlier in the week or last week with the offensive lineman being out. And it's such a weird thing. And I'm going to sound like an idiot for saying this because aside from quarterback, tackle, left tackle is typically the most sought after position on the offense. But as soon as you hear linemen are out, take that team. I feel like I really feel like that scares people away from betting Green Bay. And it hardly mattered. I think like in the first couple drives, I think maybe it took them a minute to gel. But is this a trend that we should just ignore if they have an offensive line? We saw it with the Jets. The Jets moved the ball like crazy after Merritt Tucker was out, right?
Maybe it's like how good can the offensive coordinator scheme around it?
Right.
Because it does feel like Green Bay in the entire LaFleur era has never had a healthy offensive line, and they're always good. So maybe it's just the coach. I don't know. Then you watch other
Green Bay's
teams
offensive coordinator.
consistently.
They're one of the few teams whose offensive coordinator is an offensive line coach, which isn't really that common.
Interesting. Okay. You know, they went up 7-0. I was like, this is their game. I live bet them at minus 340. I parlayed it. I'm like, let me find the biggest UFC favorite, a couple of minus 2000s in college, and then I'll put the Ravens money line, right? They're not going to go to 0-2. So let's pray for that. Heifetz, a couple more things. Jacobs, 11 straight games with a rushing touchdown. I think it was like minus 250, 270 yesterday. When do we just check that off on every bet? Have Josh Jacobs to score?
I think going forward, I joked. I mean, I made the joke last week that I bet Jalen Hurts and McCaffrey every week to score a touchdown, and then Christian McCaffrey's Achilles thing came out immediately the next week. But I do think
Right.
the McCaffrey Hurts, just throw Jacobs in there every week and just see what happens.
Yeah, I'm looking at these odds now. Over 11.5 for the Packers is minus 140. That looks good, man. They look like a 12-13 win team. I don't want to overreact to, 8 quarters of football. I also like Washington under 8.5 plus 150. You like any of those, Dabbundo?
I'm trying to find the 1 seed odds. That would
Oh,
interest
yeah.
me because let's be honest, like how many teams could realistically get the 1 seed in the NFC with all the Niners injuries? Like the argument for the Niners was that they could ride this easy schedule. Maybe they're not
Right.
actually that good, but they get the 1 seed.
Hmm.
Now I kind of think it's Green Bay and Philly. And if you do a comparison, one, Green Bay gets that game at home. They do play head to head this year.
Hmm.
And two, the Green Bay schedule is considerably easier, especially since Green Bay already took care of 2 of their considerably more difficult home games on paper with Detroit and Washington. So
Hmm.
I can't find it right now. I'm trying
I
to
just
pull it
saw it.
up.
I have it here. Packers plus 270, Eagles plus 360. I have the Bucks to win the NFC, but I don't think they're going to be a 1 seed. They're 9-1. I think you're pretty safe with either of those. I'd say put half a
prefer
million on
Green Bay.
each. Yeah, yeah.
Is
Well,
that all?
bet both of them. But so listen to this, Heifetz. If you put 500,000 on the Packers, you get 1.35, and then if you get 500 on the Eagles, you'll get 1.8. Now, obviously, you're not going to win both of those, so you just subtract 500 from
So you just
either.
pocket
What
three
do you
hundred
think?
thousand dollars no matter what.
1.3. They're both going to win. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Until the
Or one of
Bucks
them's
go
going to win.
17-0.
Oh, stop it. Yeah, I know that is interesting.
Winning
good.
every
What's
game
great,
by
Sal-
3 after the opposing team
Yeah.
with their elite field goal defense.
This is where I think the legal disclaimer, Sal, that you are legally a financial advisor and you're actually legally allowed to give financial advice, right?
That's right. Illegal and illegal. I just changed all those to both the illegal. Yeah, and I'm good. Packers
Heifetz needs
minus.
to save his bankroll for the strippers at the bachelor party this
No
weekend.
kidding. You got a big weekend ahead
Golf
of you,
books.
boy.
Yeah, it's
I'm looking at the NFC North. Packers only minus 155. I say only. The Lions are still in the division. I don't want to bury them yet, but that seems like a decent price. And Washington, I thought would be a little higher. It's plus 230 to win that division. Green Bay plus
thanks.
750 to win the Super Bowl. That's down from 9-1 last week, which is down from 12-1 before the trade, which is down from 20-1 preseason. And Love 9-1 for MVP. I think he's now third. I don't know. Any of those jump out at you guys?
I stand by my 1 seed thought.
That's it.
And I'm
Okay.
mad that I didn't bet it
All right.
preseason because I have other things on Green Bay, but I did not bet the 1 seed, which was stupid in hindsight.
if
but
if the Lions just blow out the Bears, are you going to regret not having the Lions 5-1 to win the division?
Yeah, yeah. It's I do have them all over the place anyway, so I'm not going to put more on them. But yeah, minus 155 seemed a little light for all the pro Packer talk. By the way, I should mention before we're going to go to Heifetz, I'm going to go to you about these fantasy, what we could take the away fantasy wise. But Micah Parsons called 3 holding calls, not against him, but as a result of him getting held. That's more than he was called all last year. We benefited from. I can't speak, but you know what the hell I'm saying. The Cowboys get screwed. This is why they can't win the Super Bowl. So good for you, Micah.
That's why.
You found that team. That's exactly why. I mean, give me one other reason. That doesn't add up. Heifetz, Kraft, we like top 3 or 4 tight ends now.
Yeah, Kraft seems like a
McLaurin.
league-winning player. He's the kind of player we maybe got him outside the top 100 picks. And if he stays
Yeah.
like this, especially Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed's the kind of guy where underlying advanced numbers say one thing, and then Jaden Reed goes out in the field and he's an absolute baller. And I mean, the play got hurt. He should have caught a touchdown. There was a holding, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, no. And so, but now that he's out, I really do think Tucker Kraft's the top 3 tight end. Austin Eckler tore his Achilles. Probably will. I guess technically that hasn't been confirmed, but I mean, that sucks for him. That's too bad. I mean, that might be a
Right.
career ender there. So everyone's favorite Bill Krosky Merritt. There you go in Washington. But
I mean, is that guy a bell cow though? I mean, like, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
none of these guys are like waiver picks or whatever. They're all rostered everywhere. But overall, I think if you have Tucker Kraft, I'm hesitant to be like, it's legit. It'll keep happening if you had 120 yards. But I do think Tucker Kraft will probably, at least for the next couple months, lead Green Bay in catches and yards.
I'm in
Yeah.
a fantasy league, and the commissioner screwed up the schedule, so I played the
How did
same
he do
guy
that?
back.
How do you,
I
that's
don't.
the
We're
only
still
thing
not
that's
sure.
done for you and you don't touch. How is that possible?
We're not sure, but I ended up playing the same guy back to back weeks, and I have Tucker Kraft, and he's pissed. He's so pissed.
You got one guy to beat him. I'm laying in bed last night.
Now?
Yes, right now. And last night, and my wife is looking at her phone. She's like, "Oh, I had Tucker Kraft on my bench. Why? Why didn't you make me change that? I'm like, well, you have Laporta starting. She's like, he did so well. Why did I have him on my like? She doesn't make of course, if I knew he had 124 yards and a touchdown, I would say, sweetheart, to start him. But I don't have this knowledge. I had these ridiculous conversations. Like we're gonna get the marriage annulled because of fantasy football. It's really nuts. But Heifetz, Brian, we talked about him. He's another one. What happened? He had like 1 point, 1 or 2 points.
Brian Robinson?
No,
He's on
Brian.
San Francisco now.
Krosky,
Bill.
Yeah, Bill. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Bill.
Oh, Bill.
Oh, no, he changed it to Brian. Yeah, it's Bill.
No, I mean, it's not legally his name. So you can call him whatever. Brian, Bill,
Yeah, okay,
whatever.
yeah,
Corey,
exactly.
whatever you want. Yeah, I mean, I just don't think Washington can run very well. It's nothing against Krosky Merritt. Krosky Merritt's a cool story. I just a really one-of-one arc to becoming an NFL player immediately. But to me, it doesn't overcome the fact that Washington, I think whatever rushing success they had last year, like Anthony Lynn has helped Cliff Kingsbury design stuff for that Washington offense. But overall, like the Packers defense is just better. Like it's just a better team. Short notice. It's kind of every box being checked. But I don't know. I think you saw Jaden Daniels is a really calm player, but I think you saw a little more frustration than you usually see. But I think usually I'm willing to roll back a lot of like, you don't really want to have like set opinions as week 1 to week 2. It's an extension of the preseason, really still. Having said that, yeah, man, the Washington offense, it just, the whole thing was on a razor's edge. And I think you're seeing how little margin for error. And again, it's like you can only, the downside of being shot into the stratosphere of going from the number 2 pick to being like, hey, like we should be a Super Bowl contender too, is they're just not a good team in the trenches. And that's the other thing about the running game is I don't think they're going to have a great running game because they're always going to need Jaden. They're kind of actually a lot like Houston in that they're always going to need Jaden to do a lot on offense because at least the Texans, the defense is really great, but CJ Stroud's still going to have to throw to move the ball. Washington they're never going to be in control of the game on either side of the ball. It's always going to be on Jaden, which is just a crazy burden for someone who's still like 24 years old.
It's
Except
bad.
when they play the Giants.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
See? Dabbundo with the little digs, man. Because he's on top of the world with the Colts and the Phillies.
Yeah, want to know, baby.
You know, just like all Colts Phillies fans, you're the same. That combination is a
we don't give him
crushing.
enough. We don't give him enough stuff for the fact that this guy lives in
You could say
Philadelphia. He's
shit.
an Indianapolis Colts fan. Because what, you got like a helmet and an ice cream cone once? What is even the story?
I mean, look, that decision has not aged well. It's not like I picked the Patriots or something when I was a kid. Copied by
I actually
cousins,
respect how poor you're. Like, I respect how loyal you are to this horrific decision when you probably could have jumped onto the bandwagon at some point last decade. And I respect you, but also it was probably dumb.
I acknowledge it was not the smartest decision in hindsight. However, I'm pot committed, and I'm not gonna give.
That's
up,
the whole
my
thing, right,
identity.
Dabbundo? Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't point fingers because I'm a Cowboys fan who grew up in New York and now living in California. But yeah, and my father bought me a jacket when I was like, say he was on a business trip in Dallas and bought me like a shiny Cowboys jacket. And I was like, oh, I fucking love this. This is my team. I was like 5 or 6 years old and he spent the next 48 years trying to convince me to be a Jets fan. And that wouldn't have been great either. But we're stuck now. Yeah, we're absolutely
You should have
stuck.
just actually gone to the bit and done Cowboys, Yankees, Lakers. That's what you should have done.
Oh, interesting. Hate the
Ditch
Yankees.
the Mets.
Can't
Take
do
the
it.
Yankees. There you go.
Can't do it. My favorite team. All right, that's looking back Thursday night. Let's look forward. Today's Ringer 107 brought to you by FanDuel. Odds are subject to change. We have this little competition where the 5 shows go at it with each other. Dabbundo and I are partners. What have we called Dabbundo? What's our team name?
The Handicapos.
The Handicapos. Clever. The most clever name. I don't even know what you and Heifetz, you team up with that collection of sissies. What's the name of your team? I don't remember what it
The
is.
Ringer Fantasy Football Show.
Oh, wow. Wow, you really dug deep. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean, it just flows. It's good. But anyway, everyone is 2-3 after 5 games, except for Team Simmons House. And that's all that matters, that they're in last place. They're 1-4. That's great, right? If this could end right now where everybody tied except House and Simmons team, that would be terrific.
Kind of the best outcome, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. The Ravens crushed us, Dabbundo. Crushed them. Maybe probably did 3 teams have the Ravens and just check that off as a win. And then,
Seattle.
40-25 wasn't enough. That was that. So, Heifetz, I'm looking at your slate here last week. You got so lucky with Tampa Bay and Cincinnati. Your team should have been 0-5. Let's just say you were 0-5.
I mean, I think it was skill, but agree to disagree.
Okay.
Cincinnati, Arizona, both winning those games. I mean, I can just picture Craig just sweating
Cincinnati,
his
Tampa
ass off
Bay.
in the witching
Yeah.
hour at 3:55 when both teams are about to lose the game.
Yeah,
we were
Tampa
pretty
Bay,
calm.
yeah.
I don't really see any issues with it.
You don't care?
I think it was pretty. No, it was pretty relaxed the whole time.
Well, when you know House and Simmons are going to have the worst team no matter what, it doesn't, you can't sweat too much. But let's go over our 5, Dabbundo. We put them in yesterday. It is a mad scramble to get these in and which lines we're using, and creates a lot of confusion on the text chain. But I'm going to go. All right, I have 3 picks. You have 2 this week. We had the opposite last week. And I don't love betting against my team. And I love even less making the Giants one of my best bets 2 weeks in a row. But I'm taking the Giants plus 4.5. Heifetz, I had your team pegged as the squad that was going to play tough but lose every week. Hopefully I'm right this week. I already lost a point. It was 5.5. It goes to 4.5. But I don't think it's going to matter. Our friend John Ewing points out, since 2003, in the matchups of 0-1 teams in week 2, the underdog is playing at 65%, 53 and 28. And our other friend, Adam Schefter, points out Deron Bland is out a few weeks. And I think that opens things up nicely for Russell Wilson and Malik Neighbors. Neighbors had 20 catches versus the Cowboys in 2 games last year. They're not putting this on prime time or Thanksgiving. The league has given up on this once great rivalry. Who the hell can blame them? Dak, I think, gets number 14 in a row. That's insane versus the Giants, but by a slim margin, I'm taking the points. Thank you, Brandon Aubrey. Cowboys win 26-24. Take the Giants plus 4.5. Heifetz, you'll take a moral victory here, right?
Sal, I don't mean to question, but you mentioned the Adam Schefter thing, and I'm just did I miss Adam Schefter saying that Russell Wilson's been benched?
No, he didn't say anything.
It's so funny you say this because on the Ringer Fantasy Football Show, we took the Cowboys giving 4.5 points.
Wow.
That's actually one of our picks.
Okay.
And the reasoning was, I agree. The Cowboys defense is falling apart. The pass rusher, I can't remember his name. He's gone. But the cornerback thing, Trevon Diggs is not fully back from this knee injury. The whole issue with him rehabbing, and they were mad at him. Siobhan Revel, the quarterback you drafted, who had a full knee reconstruction last year, had a setback. Now you have Deron Bland, who you gave the Michael Parsons money to. He's hurt. Doesn't matter this week because Russell Wilson is not going to be able to move the ball on Dallas. And honestly, this Giants team set the record for how quickly I hate this team. I hate this offense.
Wow.
I hate watching them play. The Giants
More than last year.
Yeah, no, they broke the record. You know what? They went they literally should have gone 4 and out at the 1 yard line twice in a row. But here's my issue: the Giants failed to score a touchdown in Week 1 for the 3rd straight year.
Right.
Literally, that's the last that had never happened before. The last team that did that was the 1940 Lions, who went touchdownless in Week 1, 1940, 1941, 1942. Their excuse was they went to go fight the Nazis. They literally had to go to D-Day. What is Brian Daboll's excuse for not scoring? You have 9 months to prepare for Week 1 and not able to score. What?
Maybe he's going to fight
Remember
a war
all the
that he
good
can't
vibes?
speak about. Yeah.
There you go.
Giants had such good vibes like 3 weeks ago from camp,
Right.
and Dallas had no vibes. And now Heifetz is laying 4.5.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, Heifetz. I think that second. Well, first of all, that's the Week 1 thing. They don't score touchdowns. They got that out of their
They
system.
got that out
I
of the
think
way.
I've been MFing Russell Wilson so much this week. I just think he comes back and has a good game. The Deron Bland thing is hilarious. You said he got all Micah's money. He was surprised. He was legitimately surprised that he got paid. It's like finding $20 in a jacket you haven't worn in a year. He's like, I don't know where all this money came from, but I'll take it. It's like, yeah, we know where it came from, and good for you. Can you last more than a week? All right, Heifetz. Dabbundo. We're taking another New York team here. Oh my goodness, how's this going to work out?
By the way, last year, Week 2 Giants divisional game also didn't score a touchdown. Wasn't that all the field goals they kicked?
Oh,
or was
shit.
it Washington that kicked field goals?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
They
that's
did
right.
cover
It
as
was
a road. They lost by
They
3.
scored
as a
like
road,
18, right?
18
Was it
to
21,
15.
18, 15, right? Okay, that's right. 5
So
field
that was when the
goals.
field
All
goal
right.
kicker got hurt. Anyway, I think
I'll
this
take
is an
18,
overreaction.
15. I'll take that.
I'm not
Yeah.
betting the Giants, but if you made me bet it, I would be on Team Sal here with our team.
Yeah, you are
Now
on
I
Team
asked-
Sal.
I asked.
Yeah.
I'm on
That's-
team-
that's-
This isn't a
that's
bit
not
like based
hypothetical.
on
Yeah.
what? What did
Yeah.
you see? What did you see in Week 1 that you're
It's
like, yeah, I'll
a
take the Giants?
textbook market overreaction. I mean,
That's
this line
right.
would have been
That's all
like
it
2.5,
is. Yeah.
3, And
Yeah.
I think reports of the Dallas defense being good are overstated. I think it's a massive opportunity for them because like Washington got a lot of pressure and was like pretty aggressive and
Mhm.
kind of took away the quick stuff the Giants like to use. Dallas played so passively. I think Eberflus is afraid of how bad his defense might be. That might change things, but I would lean with the Giants here. I think the line should be closer to 3, but I can't get there. All right, am I up?
Yeah, you're up, man.
All right,
Jets.
let's
It
go to
doesn't get much.
Sal's
It doesn't get
almost
much
team.
better. Right.
Jets plus 6.5 against the Buffalo Bills at home. Look ahead here was 8.5, and so I understand why the market has moved the way it has, but really I think the market's right. I mean, one of the biggest material upgrades that I made in my numbers week to week was the Jets offense. How could you not? It seemed like the install of the new offense went really successfully for them. Membu, the right tackle, graded out as one of the best linemen in the entire league last week. And the way they bullied like a pretty good Pittsburgh front really impressed me. And I'm not trying to say that the Jets with Fields and Hall are doing like a Baltimore cosplay because it's not. But if you were to squint a little, it could be like a poor man's Baltimore cosplay with the running game. And so I
Really
think the
poor,
Jets
really super poor.
really poor,
Like
super
this
poor,
is like, yeah, they're not getting. They can't. No, even studio apartment in Van Nuys poor. You're in trouble. Yeah. But
That
go
was
ahead.
I did 3 months in one of them, Sal.
Was that your brief ringer exploits in LA?
I wasn't so brief, but yeah. But the sorry, you were talking about how Justin Fields was like Lamar Jackson. I interrupted.
Yeah, he's basically Lamar Jackson. If you squint a little, so basically what I'm saying is Baltimore, the Jets will score 40 points and probably lose.
Wow.
But this number is a little high for me at home in a divisional game. Divisional home dogs do tend to do really well early in the season. I think there's a lot of credence to that. These teams know each other really well, and I know the Jets defense got torched last week, but if you do go back and look at the 2 meetings last season, the Jets defense did hold up pretty well in this matchup. The second game got out of hand because they kept turning the ball over and giving Buffalo basically free touchdowns. But they have matched up decently well in the past with this Buffalo team. I think Buffalo's a vulnerable big favorite because of this defense. Again, they were a bottom 5 defense last year when you take away turnovers. So I think the Jets hang around, lose close, and cover 6.5.
And Ed Oliver is out. A multi-week injury right now. So run free for Justin Fields, right? Just do it. I listen, how much can the Bills get up for this game? Sunday night, one of the classic regular season games of all time. Now you have the Jets, little brother, whatever. I don't think they'll care. I agree. I think this will be close. This is one of our picks. All right, pick number 3 for us. San Francisco -3. I'm going to short the Saints as much as I can this year until they give me a reason not to. I really don't care who the opposing quarterback is. This is like blackjack. The dealer is showing a 6, and that 6 is Spencer Rattler. He actually wears number 2, but for my purposes, he's a 6, and he's 0-7 straight up and 1-6 against the spread lifetime. Mac Jones filling in for Brock Purdy, who could be out a while. I know we've seen some Mac stinkers, but I don't think he's a 4.5 point difference from Purdy. I really don't. Kyle Shanahan wins games like this, and the new kicker has to be better than miserable Moody. 24-16, Niners win in NOLA. What do you think, Heifetz? Did you guys touch that game?
Where are you at? You and Bill always made fun of Kyle Shanahan's record. So is this you? Or are you willing to admit that Shanahan's a great coach?
I think we have to back off. I am now of the mind, and boy, I really, with social media, it would be so much cleaner if you're wrong about something or if you flip-flop about something, I don't know, more than 33 times, you should just back off the topic altogether. That's Kyle Shanahan. That's Brock Purdy with us. So I don't know where, I'm not taking a side.
Is Brock Purdy the most divisive figure in Ringer NFL history?
Yeah, he might be.
I mean, it almost cost Ruiz his job. He was willing to quit if the Niners win the Super Bowl.
Think about it. Like, in a way, he was the top 4 quarterbacks have been, we don't even have to order them. It's been Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, and Burrow for probably about 4 years now. The only one who came close to cracking that was Brock Purdy. Like, he was the MVP up until like week 15, 2-3 years ago, right? So like, oh my God. And so, but we've also seen the other side of this. So it's a very weird ride, this Brock Purdy thing. You agree, Heifetz?
Yeah, I mean, behind you. There's a mob of Eagles fans about to storm your house just because you didn't mention Jalen Hurts. But I agree with you overall. But I
Yeah.
mean, in completely different ways, Purdy and Hurts actually have, I think, similar arcs with completely different skill sets in terms of the talent, the coaching around them. But
Correct.
in this game, it's just funny because I think San Francisco, like Kyle Shanahan wanted Trey Lance. Sorry, he wanted Mac Jones over Trey Lance,
Right.
and then he
Right.
changed his mind during the draft process. I think his mind was changed by other people, but it's funny to now see Mac Jones in a San Francisco offense. I gotta think it's gonna be fine. I think people a forgotten part of the Sam Darnold renaissance is that he basically interned for the Niners for a year. Like he was the
Right.
backup at San Francisco for a year before he went to Minnesota. I am cautiously optimistic that the Mac Jones thing will work. Although I think it's funny that the line is suggesting that everyone thinks it will work, not that it could. So if he
Right.
sucks, it'll be funny that this line didn't move. But I agree with you. I can't. I'm not betting on Spencer Rattler under any
Good.
circumstance.
Good for you. All right.
I mean,
Dabbundo.
I
Yeah.
was extremely impressed with San Francisco's defense in week one.
Yeah.
You know, you could say what you want about the Seattle offense being limited, but they took away the run game. They got pressure more consistently. And really, the run defense was the biggest problem they've had for multiple years. Even in the Super Bowl year, last year, they were a pretty bad run defense. And Saleh has come in and they have, you know, had better gap integrity last week. I think that's a huge part of this. So, I mean, feels like any Shanahan offense has a decent floor, and Rattler, the floor is about as low as it gets in pro football. So I'm happy we're on this one. So it feels like an overreaction.
I mean, how about this? Just bet against the Saints until they give you a reason not to, and bet on the Niners until, you know, 4 of their 7 only good players are out. Right now, it's just the quarterback, and it gave us a gift of 3, I think. So that's why we go on it. But what's pick number 4, Dabbundo, in our Super 5 here?
Arizona -6.5 at home against Carolina. I am taking the bait, taking the cheese. I am falling for the week 1 overreaction because I went back and I just did a little deep dive into the Bryce Young renaissance of the second half of last season. And what I learned is, in rewatching some of those games, the Carolina defense is way, way worse than I remembered.
Mhm.
And even getting quote unquote healthier this year, they already have another injury in the defensive line, has not changed that. They cannot and have not been able to stop the run for multiple years now. And Arizona and Drew Petzing, they're happy to just, it's going to be a straight conveyor for this Arizona offense. I'm surprised this market isn't above 7. Once I adjusted down the Panthers defense, I was over 7 on this line. So happy to lay the 6.5 here at home with Arizona. Still think like, yes, their defense got the ball moved on them last week by the Saints, but it still resulted in just 13 points. And I do think that they're a pretty well schemed defense. So Arizona rolls, gets revenge for, you know, the Panthers beating them in last season's stretch run, and they win this game going away. And we have a very uncomfortable conversation about Bryce Young coming approximately Monday.
Ooh, are you ready for that, Heifetz? That uncomfortable conversation?
I think it'll be a pretty comfortable conversation.
Really? Okay. All
I
right.
don't think anyone's going to be uncomfortable. I think
right.
it'll be like a super comfortable conversation.
Well, you might not be
Young.
conscious all of Monday, depending on how this weekend turns out.
No,
So,
I'm probably going to be dead. So
we'll talk to you Tuesday about
Exactly.
it. Yeah, I think Dabbundo, I think both games that these teams were involved in last year, the team that was winning just got bored, and that's why we're getting good value at 6.5. Arizona was beating the Saints the whole game. If you watch the game, they were just like that. They could have scored more. They didn't care. Whatever. And I know the Saints almost had a backdoor there, but didn't matter. Same thing with the Panthers. That was a lightning game. And I feel like the Jaguars could have put up like 35-40. And they was like, well, let's just get through this. We're in hour 5 of this one. So let's put the stakes in and be done. All right. Game 5, Vegas +3 Monday night, one of 2 Monday night games. I'd rather have a Friday than a second Monday, right?
No,
Oh, come
can't do
on.
Friday. I'm so out on Friday.
Really?
Yeah.
What about Saturday?
It's too much. I'm Saturday with college. 3 nights a week is enough for me. Maybe around the holidays, you can convince me.
The second Monday Night Football game is preposterous, though. This thing's at 10 o'clock Eastern. That's 9
But
o'clock
that's
Central.
the one where they, yeah, but it may, and then the first one's earlier, right? So if you have an actual job on the West Coast, like you're not going to catch the first quarter there. And there's a broadcast team that usually doesn't belong on TV for that one. So anyway, none of that matters. We're taking the second game, Vegas Raiders +3. Geez, my picks are Russell Wilson, Mac Jones, and Geno Smith. Jesus. All right. Well, Geno was very efficient last week, 362 versus the Pats. Good job by him. And I was praising Herbert last week, but his game features two teams who have trouble stringing together back-to-back impressive games. So this is what the Raiders and Chargers have been made of the last maybe even decade. So I might as well take the home team plus the points. Raiders 12-5-1 against the spread in their last 18 played on Monday. I'm going to bet Pete Carroll's squad pull off the upset 29-24. Dabbundo, come on. Come on, let's do it. That's a winner. That puts us at 5-0.
I feel great about this week. Last week we had too much agreement.
Yeah.
And it doomed us. This week, I feel like you didn't feel as confident when I was texting you about the picks I sent, and I feel like you could sense that I didn't love betting the Giants.
It's as long as you can never love betting the Giants, but as long as we don't hate the other picks, I think we should just let them go.
I agree.
With it. Otherwise,
I will never hate the autumn wind. The autumn wind is a pirate.
Look at you.
Blustering in from sea. I love the Raiders. I have them making the playoffs this year. I think that they could be a really fun team, and they're explosive. If Bowers doesn't play, all of a sudden the receiving room gets pretty scary thin.
Right.
But certainly a tougher matchup too against the Chargers defense that does take away explosives better than the Patriots, who just didn't cover anybody last week. But I'm with you here.
Well, listen, the narrative can certainly be, I can't believe this team beat the Chiefs, right? How many times have we seen this with the Chargers where they just can't get it together? But I know there's a risk every week with the Raiders. Heifetz, do you want to highlight any of your 107 picks? I know you have Dallas. You're going against us. Dallas -4.5 against the Giants. What else you got?
So I'm surprised this didn't come up, but I mentioned before we have Dallas getting points for the Giants. The thing I have to ask you guys is, I guess I'll start with Tony Dubs over there. Why were the Eagles underdogs to start this week versus the Chiefs?
Against Kansas City?
Yes. I understand it's in Kansas City.
They weren't. The Sunday they were favored.
It was like a pick 'em all week.
Sunday night.
I have on FanDuel more money than I care to share on Eagles +1.5. I got the Eagles as underdogs.
Okay. I mean, that's CLV. Why?
But how did that happen? Tell me about how that happened. The Eagles.
It would be unreasonable to have Kansas City power rated worse than the 5th or 6th best team in the league. And it's pretty hard to make that team a dog at home. Unless you're dealing with like a super juggernaut team.
Super Bowl. Like, what if hypothetically one of the teams was up 40-0 on the other team? Like, hypothetically.
That's true. But that's overreaction to one game, I would argue. The market's not going to go crazy over one game that happened 8 months ago.
I understand the Eagles didn't look great in week 1, and I guess I'm just confused because I understand the Eagles didn't look great in week 1. I understand the Eagles lost a lot of defensive players. I understand Adoree Jackson looks like dust. But I'm like, Rashee Rice is suspended. Xavier Worthy is hurt. Like, who on the Chiefs is taking advantage of Adoree Jackson? There's Hollywood Brown and who? Juju Smith-Schuster is the oldest 28-year-old alive, or Travis Kelce, the single slowest player on offense in the NFL. Like, I don't understand.
I'll tell you where the money's. First of all, it's a tic-tac line, 1.5. So that just switches. That could just go back and forth 25 times between Monday and Sunday. But I think the public people betting the Chiefs are betting that Mahomes hasn't lost 3 in a row since like middle school. That's one, if you include the Super Bowl last week. And as Dabbundo points out, take the Super Bowl for what it is, and maybe the revenge factor is greater than the fact that they put up 40 plus against them. So I think that's where the Chiefs money is coming from. Like, how are they going to be this bad for this long? It's a more important game for the Chiefs, right?
Yeah. I mean, the sample of the Eagles defense is so hard to judge because they didn't have Jalen Carter, but there was very little edge pressure too. And I think that's one question. For as much as the Eagles defense was dominant last year, there are so many new pieces in the secondary, on the defensive line around Jalen Carter, that I think there are questions of whether they'll dominate to the same extent that they did in that game. I did bet under here. I like under. I was very unmoved by the Eagles' second half offense, and I think that is meaningful. And I, again, agree with your point that the Chiefs' offense does not match up well with Philly, especially because DeJean is so effective monitoring the middle of the field, DeJean and the linebackers, and they're able to take away kind of the underneath stuff that Kansas City wants to use and kind of needs to use, because they tried in the first half last week to go deeper and it didn't work. And then they said, screw it, we're going back to the dink and dunk again. And they actually did move the ball, but I mean, this is only the second time in his entire career he's been a home dog.
Right.
Mahomes.
I get
They
it.
did
I
lose
do
the other game
understand.
3
I
years
guess
ago in Buffalo.
I guess I'm just saying the Chiefs have defensive issues too, and they're not publicized. The Chiefs' defensive line doesn't look as great. The Chiefs have two
Sure.
safeties on their team. No one's talking about that. The Chiefs have two safeties. But like, I don't know. It's just
Well, nobody gets hurt. They'll be good for this week.
I'm just saying. Anyway, but anyway, so are there? So
No, you might be. I mean, look, there's a downside risk for Kansas City.
Yeah.
The defense gets old, and the offense isn't quite caught up to how bad they've been the last year and a half, skating by.
Rookie left tackle. Everyone wants to insist isn't a problem. I don't know. Anyway, so we took the Eagles giving 1.5. The other ones we took the Seattle getting points at Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Basically, I just think Seattle's defensive line is so much better than Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's going to come back to earth this week because I think the Seattle is so much better than them on defense in every area that I think that's going to be a low-scoring game. I think the Broncos giving 2.5 to the Colts. This is another line I kind of don't understand. I know Bo Nix looked bad last week. I totally understand Bo Nix looked good. Or sorry, he looked bad. The Colts defense looked good. The big Lou Anarumo, the defensive coordinator for the Colts, but
Did he freeze? Oh, there you are.
I cut his mic because he was slandering.
Yeah,
the
no,
Colts.
sorry. I mentioned Daniel Jones, and then God went to smite me. But anyway, yeah. So Broncos giving 2.5 to the Colts seemed easy, and then Rams giving 5.5 to the Titans. So those are the 5 we went with on the Ringer Fantasy show.
All right, listen.
Here's my thing about this.
We got to move on. We got 8
all right.
minutes to go through like 17 pages of stuff here. I don't know what happened. This is my fault, but Ringer 107 brought to you by FanDuel. Odds are subject to change. All right, let's give one prop each here because we're behind. Dabbundo, you like Justin Fields to run amok.
Yeah, Justin Fields over 43.5 rush yards. I talked about this in the Jets handicap. I think that the Buffalo safeties are a problem. The Buffalo linebackers are a problem, and they're going to be able to exploit the fact that Oliver's out. Oliver was one of the most disruptive defensive players in the league last week. So I think it's an effective ground game that, Fields will break one, 20, 25-yard run. That'll be a huge play. And then Cade Otton, under 30.5 receiving yards.
Right.
Houston dominant against tight ends. Don't think Mr. Mayfield will have much time to throw. So Otton under 30.5.
All right. Heifetz, what do you got?
I like both those. I usually love under for tight ends. I will say this week there's 2 tight end overs. I like Brenton Strange, the Jaguars tight end. I think he get every day last week. Harold Fannin versus the Bengals. He had 7 catches in his rookie debut, which had happened once in the history of the NFL before last week. And so Brenton Strange, I think in a big day over in catches and yards, it's like 33 yards. And also Hunter Henry, I like him over having 32 yards or so. I just kind of think New England really could beat Miami straight up, and I want that however you can get. I think I like the Patriots money line. I like the spread. I like Devon Achane have under rushing attempts 13, under 60 rushing yards. Hunter Henry over on yards. I like any way I can get to the Patriots win, Dolphins loss. I like a lot.
We have a lot of jet props here, jet talk. Breece Hall over 57.5 rushing for me, 19 for 107 last week. 6 of the last 7, he's gone over 57.5. He averaged 77 over that span. I think that's home. Bill's 271 rushing. I know a lot of it's Derrick Henry. For God's sakes, Breece Hall can get to 58. And I'll go Brian Thomas Jr., 2+ touchdowns, plus 950. He only saw 3 catchable targets in game 1, but against this Bengals defense, Flacco had close to 300 yards. Flacco, it's bad when a team's defensive play led to a nationwide bidding war for Harold Fannin Jr., for God's sake. So that's your Bengals
he's
defense.
elite.
Yeah, he's a leader. 10 touchdowns last year for Thomas. Had multiple touchdowns versus the Jets last year. So that's what we'll do. Hey, let's do college. I want to hit a few big games. None of them are Colgate-Syracuse, Dabbundo, which you can get for 37.5 points tonight. Are you even going to watch this game? What are you going to be?
Is it tonight?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
tonight.
Saturday?
It's Friday. It's a Friday night game, I think. Yeah.
Is it really? Oh.
Well, this is your team. You should know. They don't
Look,
play
I
a
mean,
lot.
I saw the last 2.5 minutes plus overtime of the win against UConn last week. Stellar, incredible beat. If you had UConn plus 6.5 and lost by 7 after you had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, the Colgate one probably won't make it onto the screen this evening. I'm going to try to have a life this evening before I lock in for some Premier League and football all weekend.
I understand. 38.5 if you want it now. Georgia, Tennessee, a better game. Georgia's 4.5. They've won 8 in a row in this series. I like them. They're 6-0 against the spread in the last 6 against Tennessee. Not much to go off of because they've played cupcakes. I'm including your team, Dabbundo. Tennessee played Syracuse. Georgia unimpressive
Almost
last
covered.
week. Yeah, almost. Vols have both starting corners out, and I think Gunnar Stockton puts up good numbers, 31-16 for Club Kirby. And the Dogs, LSU, Florida, 7.5 point favorite. Usually this is a spite bet situation for me. I'm pissed at Florida. They lost to South Florida. I had Florida all over a money line parlay. Now they go to LSU, who was fine against Louisiana Tech. I think this is an overreaction game. Brian Kelly's team did the unthinkable. They went on the road and took care of Clemson week 1. He never wins week 1, and then people are going to give up on Florida. I think this one's close. LSU has trouble running the ball, 27-22, I would say. Heifetz, you have any thoughts on that game at all?
So you're taking Florida with the points over LSU?
Yes, with the points, yeah.
It's funny, if you Google Billy Napier right now, the suggested search is just Billy Napier buyout.
Yeah, Billy Napier.
They were ready to fire him midway through last year, and then that quarterback got hot for like a month, and then everything changed, and they were like, "Oh, we got hope again."
Does he get off the hot seat if they cover but lose? I think so. I think that buys him a couple.
That should be the deal with the boosters. Maybe that's how they pay for the buyout.
Right.
They all bet Florida. He
Fun
backdoors it, gets the late field goal. Then he realizes he got the late field goal, which got him fired.
$22.5 million buyout. So how many bets? So we just do the $500,000, and then eventually by the end of the year, you just, that's.
I mean, a nice countdown on the stadium scoreboard, right there.
Florida, if you think South Florida is actually good, which I know people,
Tate Frazier says top 10 team. Yeah,
and if they win this week, shouldn't they be number 1 in the country?
Yeah,
they beat Miami, Florida, and Boise. But if you think USF is actually pretty good and sneaky better than people think, and you're looking at Clemson against Troy, and you're like, maybe the LSU win isn't as good as we thought. You could do that, like, voodoo transitive property sports betting math to talk yourself into Florida here in Death Valley. And I think I might.
That's what I
might
did.
apply.
Flagway had a good game against them last year at 137 passer rating, so I look for that to continue. Notre Dame 6.5 home for Texas A&M, looking to bounce back. The Irish are after the loss to Miami. They're 1-2 in home openers under Marcus Freeman. They're going to run a lot, or try to keep it out of CJ Carr's hands, young quarterback. I don't think they're going to be that successful. A&M has they're brilliant against the run so far, and they have 6 highly touted linebackers / edge rushers. I'm taking Mike Elko's Aggies. Team spent a ton this season. They have 86 points after 2 games. The opponents weren't the best, but I know it's a must win for the Irish, so maybe they'll pull it out. I'm going to go 23-21. I'm going to take the points there. Heifetz. That's a fun game.
Yeah, I think you're dead on. Don't bet on Notre Dame on them to win out of principle. I feel like there's been no stretch of my life where I really enjoyed doing that.
I'm enjoying that when Sal does the score predictions, it's never a normal score. It's never like 24-20.
Yeah, I hate that.
It's like 29-27, 23-21. I love it.
Because I've scoured the final scores for weeks, and they, oftentimes there's a missed 2-point conversion or some dumb shit, so I'm not going to be, it sounds like I know more than I do if I give an oddball score. All right. I'm going to quickly say our best bets other than those games. South Florida plus 17.5 over Miami. I know you talked about this Dabbundo. Tate thinks they're a top 10 team. They're well coached by Alex Golesh. He's a Brooklyn guy. They don't turn the ball over, +4. They've had 3 penalties this year, and they have a Grammatica 26-19. How's that for a score? Miami wins, but it's well within the 17.5. Heifetz, what do you like?
Richmond getting 21 points versus UNC Chapel Bill, baby. Roll Spide.
I just remembered where Heifetz went to college.
Where's that?
I believe you got the Homer cap on.
Yeah, no, Richmond.
You should have done the bachelor party in Chapel Hill this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Money line's 20-1. I actually don't know what the money line is because they're going to lose. But plus 20, Richmond's going to cover, baby.
I'm looking.
We talked about this on Wednesday, didn't we, Sal? With the UNC Charlotte, that box score, they were largely equal to Charlotte last week.
Right.
Pretty alarming. I only have one college football bet that I've placed as of now. I think I'm going to bet Florida, but the Owls of Temple. T for Temple U tomorrow, noon Eastern. Heisman favorite John Mateer is coming to Lincoln Financial Field. Sure. But this is a brutal spot for them. I mean, they're in the middle of winning against Michigan and going into this SEC schedule. They tried to schedule a free win against the Owls. And look, before the season, you would have said, yeah, it is a free win, but not in the era of Casey Keeler, the new Owls coach. Turned around Sam Houston. He's won everywhere he's gone, including multiple Division I FCS programs. I like the Owls to cover. Learn the name Evan Simon. Might be hearing about him after this week.
Evan Simon. I got to learn that name. Another thing I have to learn. Put it in my queue. All right. Yeah. So, Joe Heifetz, by the way, Richmond, if you like them straight up 12-1, if you think
Come on.
Coach Bill will fall
Might not be.
flat on his face this week. There you go. All right. We're going to do this is called handy clipping. I'm going to show a clip or a news item and set odds accordingly. Mikey Meatballs, roll this. Adam Sandler playing hoops with the Heat. Look at this. He's actually not bad. By the way, that's the same outfit he wears when he comes on my cousin's show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, as a guest. But he's pretty good. Backdoor passes. Doesn't seem to be a ball hog. My handy clipping odds for this video, over under third day of Hanukkah before Adam Sandler comes out with a song where he repeats the name Bam Adebayo over and over. Heifetz, what do you think?
I think you got to go over because I think that you got to time that with a playoff run. So I think that, it's you know what I mean? And,
Yes.
However, if the Heat play on Christmas, I don't know when Hanukkah comes this year. So maybe if Hanukkah's late enough this year, maybe actually you could time it right with the Miami Heat Christmas game.
Okay. All right. Dabbundo, that seems like logical reasoning.
Wasn't it? Hanukkah was around Christmas last year, wasn't it? Or did I misremember that?
Heifetz, you should know this. You should have.
I
the
never
numbers.
know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of them, like, I get why they used to keep the calendars on the moon, but I'm like, do we still need to do this really now?
I'll go over.
You're going over?
I'm all in on Adam Sandler revival. Feels like he's had a recent revival here, like Hustle, Gilmore 2. I feel like he's having a moment here.
Bam Adebayo. You know he did it for that. That's the only reason. All right. We're handy clipping again. Thor Bjornsson, aka the Mountain from Game of Thrones, set a new world deadlift record of 1,124 pounds. Look at this. I'm going to be honest. I couldn't do that. How many of us would it take to deadlift that much weight? It would be the three of us.
That's
Mikey
a good
Meatballs,
question.
Mallory. I feel like the entire Ringer staff would still have
107 Ringer employees would probably be
Oh,
required.
107. That's the Ringer 107. Yeah, I think you're right. So my handy clipping odds for this video, would the Mountain from Game of Thrones deadlifting 1,100 plus pounds have been a better ending for Game of Thrones? Yes is minus 100 million. No, plus 6,000. Heifetz, come on. This is easy.
I think that would have been good. He could have just like picked up the castle or something and like saved Jamie and Cersei from the end. That could have worked.
Yeah.
What
or
if I
just
told you
the-
I never
the clip we
watched
saw.
the whole show?
How far
Really?
into it did you get?
I have watched select episodes. I saw a good bit of the last season. My roommates were binging it in college, but I was so late to the party that I just decided I missed that one.
I think
Gotcha.
that's a trope of people who didn't watch Thrones is they were like, I'm so late. I'm just not
Right.
going to give in. And it's like a little interwoven with your personality that you're
That's
like, I
fine.
just won't do that.
It's okay.
But I think I would
it's
have
okay.
but then everybody was like, it ended badly. So now I don't want to hang around for the payoff if the payoff
Yeah.
stinks.
So just watch
but
this.
maybe, I don't
This is-
know.
This is the better ending.
I'm
I
hiring
promise you.
this guy to be my tow truck driver next time my car wheels get jacked.
Ooh, there you go. He might have stolen the tires in the first place.
Hey, you need
fell
to put him on the
swoop, he
bar.
took
You
'em.
needed a lift.
Yeah. All right. One more video here. This is the Ravens Wives viral dance video. Let's see this. It seems like there are 5 of them. I don't know who belongs to who. Although the one in the middle just spun around. It says Andrews. And we know she's his wife because she spun and dropped her helmet at the goal line. No, I'm kidding. But all right. My handy clipping odds for this video, over under week 12 before one of them is starting at free safety for the Ravens. Come on, Heifetz, 500 yards to the Bills, most of them in the fourth quarter.
I think under, I'm a little, Kyle Hamilton had to go back and forth to the locker room. I think they could use like a little more depth in the secondary. I think that's a good call. Oh my
Okay.
yeah.
Dabbundo?
I'll
Do
go
we see
under as
one?
well.
Yeah.
Although
It's
I'm
gonna
not willing to give up on the Ravens defense being great. Maybe Josh Allen is just that guy. I thought they actually played well for 3 quarters, but
Yeah. But these women look very athletic, you have to admit. All right. I know, but by the way, Heifetz, a great fight bachelor party weekend is a must. And I know it's, you're on the East Coast.
Well,
You're in Michigan.
as
Yes.
far as East Time extends, I'm on the border
Yeah.
of Lake Michigan that has East Time. So technically,
right.
yes and no.
So you
I
got
would not consider
11:30.
Michigan East Coast.
No, I know. So these guys will walk to the ring around 11:30 p.m. You're probably doing other stuff, but it's on Netflix. It's Bud Crawford. It's Canelo. Canelo's a minus 182 favorite, plus 142 on the take back. This is Bud going up 2 weight classes from 154 to 168. That doesn't usually bode well for the underdog, the lighter guy, but I'm taking him for the knockout, plus 950. I think a
Crawford to
seventh
knock
round
out
knockout.
Canelo.
Yes. I think Crawford knocks him out. The
Wow.
lighter guy, it doesn't usually happen. And I know Bud's older and everything else, but Canelo, I think he's going to be able to withstand Canelo's power and volume if it's what I've seen, in the last 7 or 8 fights. But
I'm surprised to hear you
that's
say
my
that.
pick.
I'm intrigued that Crawford can fight. I'm a sucker for people that can switch between righty and southpaw, but
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to hear you say that because I actually meant to ask you why Canelo at minus 180 when the other guy's the one coming up in the weight class.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of surprised. I thought it'd be like
He's
worse
pretty
odds than
great.
minus 180.
He's awesome, but he
Crawford
really
is?
is. Yes, he is freaking awesome. And the way he took out Errol Spence was a surprise to everyone. But I think he's like bides his time and then just goes for it. He's so smart. I think he's going to unleash, and that's going to be it. Dabbundo, you could watch this. You don't have a bachelor party.
I have a wedding.
Oh, you
I'm
do?
one step ahead. I'm one step ahead of
Oh.
Heifetz. Yeah.
Put it on at the wedding.
Wedding tomorrow.
Oh.
Should be fun. I
Oh
don't know
my
what time
God.
it ends.
And then you
I
have to travel on
suspect.
Sunday.
I'm going to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Amish country,
I know,
for
but
the
during
wedding.
the football, oh my goodness.
No, I'm not
Ugh.
traveling Sunday. I'm traveling Sunday morning during the English Premier League football.
I see. All right.
I will be
All right,
on
I
the
don't care
Ringer
about
Sunday
that.
pregame show, maybe hungover, maybe wearing sunglasses at 12:30 p.m. Eastern.
I look forward to it. I look forward to seeing you next week. Heifetz, please, hydrate yourself. Don't do anything foolish. We don't need to make news just yet.
Sal, what's the
And
most unhinged thing you did during a bachelor party?
I can't say that. We have Mina Kimes waiting.
Give me the four. All
She's
right.
here.
Well, all right.
Let me throw to Mina Kimes, and then I'll tell you all about it. All right, guys. Here's Mina. All right, she's here. Very exciting. Where do I start? You could hear her podcast, The Mina Kimes Show, featuring Lenny. She's all over ESPN, namely NFL Live, or you could see her as a professional meatball and rice taster on Netflix, one of the very best football minds and talents in the game. Mina Kimes, thanks for jumping on the show. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's good to see you.
Let's talk about the week 1 main event, Ravens, Bills. How proud are you of the NFL for coming up with the perfect script for week 1? I mean, it gave us everything we wanted, right?
It kind of made my hard job as an analyst the next day because when you watch something like that, it's kind of hard to diagnose and fix. Like usually when you watch a team and they suck, you can say, or they melt down, you can say, well, clearly pass protection is a problem, or they're missing a second cornerback. Oh, I don't know, man. They lose consistently in confounding, different, weird ways. Outside of pointing at the coach, it's not much you can do to analyze that.
So what meaning do you put on that? Because I kind of don't. I feel like we'll see both of these teams in late January. Don't forget the Ravens beat the Bills in the regular season. They killed them last year. And not only did the reverse happen in the playoffs, but Josh Allen won MVP for the regular season. So it didn't really matter then. Does it matter as much now?
No, I think both offenses, both quarterbacks picked up right where they left off. The defenses are things, I think that's something I'm monitoring all year long. The Bills defense, I think, is worse than I thought it was. But the Ravens defense, that was really underwhelming because I thought the Ravens defense was going to be a top 5 unit this year.
Right.
And, just not last out. Linebacking group looked a little slower. So, yeah, that was underwhelming as well. So I think I'm just curious to see if either side can kind of fix the problems they have on defense. Offenses, you don't even have to talk about.
Yeah, right. Better now than in late December. All right, let's talk about your team here. I was thinking of you the other day as a Seahawks fan and a great mathematical mind that correctly utilizes data and statistics. Were you pissed off when McDonald go on 3rd and 1 with 3:42 left and everybody has their timeouts, 4th and 1, sorry, decides to kick the field goal?
Yeah, I thought he should have gone for it.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Him and he comes from Baltimore, and Harbaugh also punted. We punted, not field goal, but conservatism there
Yeah.
too. And yeah, I mean, compare that to Green Bay, which kind of went for the jugular on 4th down in their win. To me, that looked like a very well coached, aggressive team.
Yeah, it doesn't always work, obviously, going on fourth down. But first of all, let me look at the 5 rushes before. Well, it was a -1, right? But then before that, it was a 4, a 7, a 5, a 5, and an 8. Likely going to pick up the first down. And if you don't, then you're playing defense and you're using that good defense. And you might probably get the ball back with 3:42 left versus running some clock off and running some timeouts off. I feel like it was a coin flip being up 3 with that much time left, right?
Yeah, Ralph said the team's models said go, which I appreciated
Really?
him being.
Oh, no.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think people don't understand. Like all these teams have their own models that they're running during the game, and the models account for who's on the field. Contrary to popular opinion, they account for the strength of the offense and defense and all that. Yeah. So it was just a rare misstep, but like there's a lot of other reasons why the Seahawks lost that game, not just that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they say it's best to abandon your model in week 1, right? I mean, that's when you got to get rid of it. Why give it
It's
a
funny,
chance?
right? Because I'm a person who really likes to use stats to analyze football,
Sure.
but week 1 you don't have a lot to work with.
Mhm.
But I also think that can lead to like people forgetting context in week 1.
Absolutely. All right. So now this week you have the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers, who looked good last week, but you understand a loss to Aaron Rodgers is like 2 losses. How are you feeling going into this weekend?
I think this should be good. I think that the aforementioned excellent Seahawks defense is going to give him a lot more difficulty than the Jets did. He did look good, but it was basically just quick game all game long. It was very, he had like a 4-yard average depth of target. He got a couple of shots off of boots, but I think the Seahawks are very better equipped. The Seahawks are better equipped to stop that, to tackle, to create confusion up front. I was thinking back to when the Seahawks played the Jets last year, and they got Aaron Rodgers with the simulated pressure and pick sixed him. It was Leonard Williams dropped into coverage. Rodgers didn't see it. Ball came out fast. Pick six. I think that they're going to make this a bit of a rock fight, so it should be a good game.
Okay. I think you're saying under, if I'm reading between the lines here. If you will not make the playoffs, I'm going to pick 3 teams that lost in week 1. And these are all around the same odds. The Lions, the Texans, or the Chiefs. Which one of those 3 you think more likely or most likely to not make the playoffs?
Man, it's not the Chiefs. I still put them in.
Okay.
My problem is I think the Lions are better than the Texans, but I think
Right.
or it might be better. I don't know. But the Texans are in the AFC South, so it might
Different
be
hurdle,
Detroit.
yeah.
Yeah, it might be Detroit, just purely
Really?
because if you switch divisions, I would pick the
Sure.
different. I think just the Texans being in the AFC South gives them an easier
Yeah.
path.
Yeah, it is. Some of these teams should think of switching divisions. I thought it said that about the Raiders. Like if Mark Davis just moves the team to, I don't even know what's open.
What if you
Not-
could
not
trade for
national.
that, like as an incentive? Like what if
Yeah.
instead of trading 2 firsts for Micah Parsons, the Packers traded their way into the NFC East?
I love that. I love that. I hate that as a Cowboys fan. You mentioned Micah Parsons in your short time with us, but what am I going to do? Here's another idea I love, and I'm wondering if you'll partner up with me. So I think I have a great idea for a business. And so I want you to team up, and I don't need any money left yet. It's called Cash for Karens. Okay. And so we see these Karens, they're called Karens at the, like, let's say the baseball game. And what happens is a foul ball is hitting their section and they think they have the right to it. And then some father comes in or mother and scoops it up and runs off and gives it to their kid. And the Karen runs and then gets play and she's screaming at them. And then she eventually gets the ball back and everybody hates her and makes her life miserable. But then what happens to the kid? The kid gets a ball. The kid gets a bat. The bat is signed by the player who hit the foul ball. There are people who want to send this kid to the World Series, all expenses paid. I feel like we get in on this. This is a cash cow. I think we set it up.
Oh, like a classic
Yes.
scam.
Yes, exactly. They're in the Karen
Like a
is in
hustle.
cahoots, right? Because this is all of a sudden a profitable
Wow.
business. Like you
Okay.
could wear a wig, we could prosthetic your face or whatever. You
Why
have to
do
get
I have to
lucky.
be the Karen? Why can't you be the
okay.
Karen?
All right, I'll be the Karen. Okay, that'll be my face. That gets that's fine. I'll be the Karen.
Okay.
Whoever's the Karen. But do you understand? Do you
Yeah,
like this?
no. I like this.
this
So
model?
you and I, it's like a classic hustler scheme. You and I
Right.
travel across America, go into ballparks, and
Yeah.
I'm not a kid, but maybe there'll be things like you knock me over in the stands and run away, and I'm flailing on the ground.
Yes.
We make
Right.
it go viral. People find my GoFundMe. I don't know.
Right.
We set up
And
a
the team-
GoFundMe for me.
And the So they'll
Yeah.
offer you everything under the moon, and
Yeah.
I'll make it so they can't find me, right? So they can't
Yeah.
ruin my life. I feel like aside from making this public right now, this is good. We could
We
keep
probably,
this secret.
I think you and I might be too public facing. So we'll
Yeah,
probably just
okay.
have to hire actors like a kid.
We'll find a kid. We'll find
Yeah.
an actor. Charlie Sheen's hot again. Maybe he could be in this. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll get it going. The other thing I was thinking before I let you go, a publication recently named Bill Simmons #1 sports media personality for the first 25 years of the 2000s. And I was thinking ahead, and
Sick.
I installed you as the favorite for the second 25 years. I have you at plus 300, and I feel strongly about this. I don't know if there's a Mel Kiper III out there, or a Stephen B. Smith, or Herb Street's dog. I don't know. I think you're still top of the list there. What do you think? Can you pull this off?
How about little Ben Solak? I love him. He's like 12 years old, right? He just had
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, you
yeah.
want someone younger? No, I think you're in it till
Oldies.
at least 85, 88 years old, and that might even cover the next 50
cousin
years.
Kyle, maybe. Sneak him
Nephew
in.
Kyle.
Your nephew Kyle, your cousin.
He
Hard to keep
changes it
track
to
of all the
cousin.
different
No, I know. Yeah.
relatives. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta be someone else in there.
All right, I'm putting you in there. I'm sorry.
you.
I know you're
Appreciate
being bashful here, but I think it's you as the favorite. Mina, thanks so much for joining us. Tell everybody where they could see you. Shame on them if they don't know already.
My show is called The Mina Kimes Show, featuring Lenny, where you can hear takes such as the Cowboys made the worst trade of the last 20 years. Check it out
What?
at youtube.com/@MinaKimes.
Don't listen to that. Tune in next week. You don't have to listen to that part. Was it the worst in the last 20 years?
I don't know.
Oh, my God.
No, I just said they made the Packers a Super Bowl team.
Ah, jeez.
Really
I don't
bad,
know.
though. Really bad.
Yeah, I have friends sending me like, look what Micah did this weekend. I was like, well, we don't know what the 2 first-round picks. They probably had a good weekend in college, right? For all we know. What is wrong with Jerry? What is wrong? Disgusting. Mina, thanks for jumping on. I appreciate it. That does it for the Ringer Gambling Show. For Anthony Dabbundo, Danny Heifetz, and the great Mina Kimes, I'm Sal. Hoping your covers aren't blown. Have a great weekend, everybody.